He is gonna be happy to hear that.
And I actually just noticed us taking it apart, but I'd say about a quarter of that pulley or more is missing.
There is movement there.
It doesn't look like much there, but it equates to a lot, especially these exhaust cams. That's a ton of movement for that exhaust.
And that will only get worse and worse and worse till it can cause catastrophic damage.
But you do have some wear on the cam plates themselves.
You know, I want the car as best as I guess it can be.
It's in dire need of more than maintenance. It's in need of repair. We have to replace these. It's gonna be where we end the video. With this needing this much repair, it's just too much for us to do today. Hey guys, welcome back. Today, we're gonna take this Luck of the Irish C63 because how lucky is he that his cam phasers are bad here at Modern Masters while we have the valve covers off. So Rusty's gonna fix all that, and then I hope you guys have a wonderful and happy St. Patrick's Day, just like our really good, lucky Irish person, Anthony, Mr. Super Irish. We love that guy. I just feel so lucky even just being around him. So happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's get on this C63. Let's get those cam phaser plates replaced. So with that being said, let's get started, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Anthony, my most #1 Irish best friend. All right guys, so where we left you off last time, we took out this cam phaser plate just to show you guys the damage. Today, we're gonna remove all of the rest, show you the damage, and then show you the rebuild procedure. Then put the timing cover plates back on, the valve covers, and then we were done with this bad boy. But look at this. Shiny, new, bright floor. Look at it, wow. But look at that. Rusty spent about 3 or 4 hours etching in this logo. I'm just so impressed. At least that's what he told me he did. I went to the bathroom and 5 minutes later, it was done. So not sure how he did it, but it looks very cool. Look at that. How'd you do it?
Well, if you weren't aware, you take a really long time to go to the bathroom. So I sat there with a fine screwdriver and just chiseled away for hours until I was happy with the end result. Sounds
like a bunch of bullshit to me, but it looks awesome and we're happy with it. Just take another look at that. Wow, Modern Masters. You know, if you need your car fixed, if you need to buy a car or tow a car, or if you need your floors done, hit us up. We got you every time. All right, let's get to work, Rusty. And it looks like Rusty went ahead. This one we already locked. He went ahead and locked the other side. So now we just got to break them loose and pull them out. All right, let's keep on moving. Got yourself an 18mm. Make sure you have this cam bridge in here locked. And that'll keep the cam in place. It looks like this thing definitely sat for a while. Look at the rust building up on the back of that cam gear. There's a little bit on all of them, but this is definitely the worst one. I'll see if I can get that to clean up a little bit before I put it back together. Okay, so I like to do these one at a time. That way the plates have no chance of getting mixed up. Back when these plates first got released, there was no marking or anything that would tell you if it was an intake or exhaust. So my only way of matching them up was to actually match them up with the plate that came out. So it's just a habit of mine. I'll probably always do it this way. But there is now a mark on the back of the plate where it says AUS. You will line that up with the case. It says AUS right there. And the intake cam will say EIN, E-I-N. So even though they are labeled now, for years I've been doing it, just matching them up. And it's a lot easier just to do one at a time instead of breaking all of them apart and having parts everywhere. So do one at a time, match up the plate, and we'll start going back together. So you will grab this pin here, it's in the back. Line up with the hole in the back of the plate here. Lock that in. Now some companies do have you reuse these pins, but these come with new ones. So we'll use new pin and the new spring for the pin. Put this center section in here first. Line it up with the hole. Make sure that moves nice and freely, and you'll see where that hole is in the plate. You're gonna line that up and then drop in your new pin and your new spring. And you grab your back gears here. Not gonna bolt it in just yet, but it holds it up off the ground. And this is the most important piece.
You cannot get these new. This is the little plastic stopper, and that's gonna go off right there. I've dropped them multiple times and spent, you know, a half hour on the floor trying to find this bad boy that goes shooting out of there. So make sure you have that plastic part there. It's very important. Now we can put our front plate on, spin the back so the holes line up, and we're just gonna finger tight put these bolts in here, and I'll torque all of these phasers together at once they're all assembled, but this will keep everything together for me. Just snug them up. Also, all of these tone rings, they are identical for each cam, so if you get them mixed up, it's okay. Don't freak out. They can be changed up. It's just the plates inside that matter. So move on to the next one. Let's do an intake. So we'll do an intake next. You can see right here, EIN for intake. So if you look at the last video when I was shaking the cams, the intake cam barely had any play at all in it, but even with a small amount of play, look at the wear in the plate. Typically it is the exhaust plates that take the most wear, but we've seen some intake ones with some pretty bad wear as well. So even with just the slightest movement in that cam with a wrench, this plate is basically trash. So match up intake plate with the old intake plate. And you can see how pins are on the same side as the plate, whereas in the exhaust, the pin is on the opposite side of the plate. That's the only difference. Line that pin up. And always make sure that this assembly in here moves pretty freely. Sometimes, you know, a little bit of resistance is okay. It'll break in, once all the new parts break in with that plate, but you should be able to move it back and forth with just your fingers. Drop your new pin in, little plastic cap, snug these up. And I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the R2 really quick. Now go ahead and get these torqued. Make sure you put a rag down, and you don't have to get this thing super tight or anything, just so it doesn't spin while you're trying to torque it. It's a little bit of pressure. Definitely don't want to deform it or leave any marks or anything on there, but put a rag down. And we're gonna be torquing these to 15 Newton meters, but you don't want to go just all like 15 Newton meters straight away all at once. I like to do it in stages. Doesn't really matter how much, but I usually go about 8 Newton meters at first. So right there is 8. And just work your way around. There's 8. And the next stage, I'll do 12. And finally, I'll do 15. There's a lot of moving parts in here, so you don't want to have anything bind by twisting the metal by torquing one side tighter than the other. So you definitely want to go in stages. Same theory as torquing maybe a valve body in a car or even head bolts. You want to keep that metal from twisting, so everything wants to be even. So we'll go to 12, and finally 15. And now you should hear the beep once I've reached 15 Newton meters. And now we do the other 3. All right, all torqued up. Now we just have to reinstall.
Hey guys, so not to stop you from everything Rusty's doing with this M156 C63, but I have a treat for you guys outside. Let's go take a look at this surprise. What's up, man? Look at this setup. Is that really a Ford Ranger? Is there a V8 in there? Holy, look at this deal we have here. Oh, did the hood blow back? Yeah. Oh, did it mess up the windshield? Yeah. Look at this. This is a Volvo with an M156 in it. Oh my goodness. And it's obviously the early generation. It has no vacuum reservoir here. It'd be on the side of the block. And it's got the C63 brakes on it. What rear is in it? Is that custom too? Oh, so you bolted up the rear subframe all from a C63? Yeah. Is the transmission inside of it? So the transmission's mounted up too?
90% of the parts are inside of the cars.
Okay. Wow, man, this is crazy.
It would have been something fun.
It looks like it's gonna be fun.
Custom rod height adjustment.
Oh, look at that.
It's nice.
Nice, nice, nice. Very cool. This is awesome. What a build. And he brought it here. We sent him money for the U-Haul dolly and a Ford Ranger, man. Look at that. And it pulled it fine. Man, we love Rangers, man. I just bought a Ranger today for the car lot, a white one up there. That's cool. All right, guys, I'm leaving it up to you. You tell us what you want us to do with this Volvo M156 powered C63 hybrid deal. Comment what you guys think we should do with this thing. That is too cool. What do you think, Rusty?
Yeah, I feel tired already.
I'm never tired. This thing, I'll work on it 2 in the morning. I don't care. This is cool. The cammed Volvo M156. That is awesome. Yeah, liquid moly oil in this thing. We got to put some of that in there. And the motor's solid. It's no issues or anything. Cool. C63 wheels, M156. Unfortunately, we're gonna need a windshield, so if anybody wants to donate that, that would be awesome. But look at the Volvo. I can fit all my kids in it too. That's gonna be cool. Man, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This guy's hooking us up. We love it already. Right, Rusty?
Yep.
You're not excited for all the work, are you? Are you excited to drift in it, maybe?
Yes. I want to get it running and you do the rest.
I'm gonna take Rusty for a crazy ride if that's what you guys think we should do with this thing, but I'm excited. All right, guys, we're back inside, back to work. We hoped you liked the Volvo C63. That's gonna be awesome. Rusty has all of our cam adjusters built and ready to go back in. The old nasty cam bolts. And we got the new ones here. Let's get this going.
All right, so now we're ready to put the cam phasers back together onto the camshaft. We have this special locking tool that locks the gear and creates tension on the gear so it doesn't wear out and chatter. I have a new washer in the back of here. Always check that the old one is not still in there, or also make sure it's not stuck to the camshaft. You don't want to have 2 washers on there. Make sure it's been replaced, make sure it's new. The washers and the bolts are not reusable, so always get new ones. As well, the locking tool that we have on the front of the cam, there's also one when you reinstall, there's one on the very back of the cam that holds the cams in place. We have other videos where we show that more in depth of how to time these, but in order to get the phaser back in place, the front one that's right here needs to be removed so that there's room for the tool to put the cam in place. So we're going to grab an exhaust phaser where it says AUS right here for exhaust. Reinstall this onto the exhaust cam. It should slide on there relatively easily. And we're just gonna hand tighten these on here because you want this tone ring to still be able to move so we can put that back in time before torquing the bolts. All right. Take our locking tool out of there. Make sure this is free to move, which it is. Move on to the next one. Okay, now we have our intake cam, Ein for intake. We're going to put in our new friction washer in the back, make sure it's seated the whole way, and our new bolt. I think it's so cool that these are held in time by literally just, friction. It's just a flat surface onto a flat surface. There's no keyway or anything. So just the friction of the metal and that washer is the only thing that's keeping this, still at 6,000, 8,000 RPM. That's just really cool to me. But I've noticed that a lot of more modern engines, even like a, Ford Escape or these little 4-cylinders, they're starting to move on to the same design. I've done quite a few of those recently. So if it works, it works, and you don't need those keyways on there. Why not? Okay, so now that we have the phasers loosely on there, we can reinstall our timing tool to the front, put some bolts in, make sure it's seated the whole way. And next we have a timing tool. This is what puts the tone ring in front of the cam phaser in time so the cam sensors can pick it up, and that's what tells which coil on each cylinder when to spark and when for the injectors to fire. So definitely want to make sure you have this in time correctly. So it is labeled left and right side, but regardless, it won't fit on there unless you have it on there correctly anyway. So it's pretty impossible to mess it up. Go ahead and bolt these down so it stays in place. And we'll grab our torque wrench and we'll be done with this side here. And in case I forgot to mention, before you time these gears, always make sure, just double check that the crank pulley is at 40 degrees. So the 40-degree mark will be lined up with the mark on the timing cover. That is a safety position to time all these, for all Mercedes. What that means is none of the pistons are up the whole way. So while you have your timing gears off, the cams could move any which way and you don't risk a valve contacting a piston. So this is the angle that they would like everything timed at. It's also considered the safety position too. Always make sure anytime you're doing valve train work, that pulley is at 40 degrees. All right, so on the next step is a 2-part torque procedure. You're gonna start off by 45 Newton meters. Get one cam bolt to 45 Newton meters. And then you're going to have a 90-degree turn. Luckily, my torque wrench measures angles for me, but if not, you can buy adapters for just regular ratchets that you can do the angle with them as well. Tell you what, you guys have come to learn. Craig is everywhere. He was on the news recently. My uncle was sitting on his couch, just got off work, probably knowing him, probably drinking a little bit, enjoying his day, and then he's watching the news, and there's Craig being interviewed at the mall. He goes, "Holy cow!" He's like, "Man," no, I'm not gonna repeat exactly what he said, but he said that guy's everywhere.
I am everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm trying to do everything, trying to help everybody. I'm tired though, man. I'm tired. But I love what I do. I love all my clients. I love my best friend. I love my job. I love these cars. So I won't stop. If you guys won't stop sending them to me, I won't stop doing all the logistics and everything I do to keep this place going. Looking good, looking good. We had to put a moving blanket just in case we drop oil or anything so it won't ruin our shiny new floor. We did a clear top coat also. That clear top coat was a pain in the arse. It was like spreading glue across the floor. That was a job. I tell you, that when we did that on a Sunday, that was, whew, I'm still feeling it.
I think Craig probably ruined about 3 or 4 t-shirts this weekend.
I did.
I'm surprised he didn't have to shave with all the paint all over his face.
And my woman's mad because I wore my good shoes, but I was like, well, I wanted to be comfortable. You can't work in here all day.
You can't be painting floors for 2 days without the proper arch support, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. I really need it. Really need that calf and arch support, especially when you're pushing the paintbrush against the ground. You need a real good support.
He's so good at it too. You guys should have seen it.
I was pretty good.
It was a sight to
Maybe I'll
behold.
put some footage from our security cameras so you can see me slaving away in here. Wait, can I say slaving away?
It's your channel, Craig.
Or do the Irish people still get offended by that? I don't know. Anthony, you have to let me know.
Yeah, potato, potato.
Potato, potato. That's a good. That was good. That was good. That was a Rusty joke. Oh man. Oh, Anthony gets it. Potato, potato.
Get it? Because, you know, potato fan.
Yes, because Anthony's Irish
Yeah, exactly.
and he loves potatoes. Just the other night for dinner, Anthony ordered French fries and mashed potatoes. And I was like, Anthony, you can't do that. My mom told me that you can't get 2 starches at dinner. I don't even know what starch has to do with potatoes, but you can't do that. My mom said it, like when I was like 6. So, but he did it anyway because you can't stop an Irishman from eating his potatoes. Back to Rusty still fibbling, fondling this thing in here.
Sorry, I can't stop thinking about potatoes.
Don't get it. Get it, Sally. Oh, there you go. Hit it with your purse.
What? That's my purse. I don't know you.
What is that from?
King of the Hill?
I don't watch King of the Hill. You keep doing these King of the Hill references. I don't watch it.
It's for the people.
All right, guys. So we have all 4 cam phaser plates rebuilt. You can see the shiny, awesome new plate from VRP Speed. I'll put the link down below. And this is what I'm talking about with the squiggly gasket. If you can see this right here, and you can kind of hear how brittle and hard. Look at that. That's like plastic instead of rubber. So we're going to replace these squiggly gaskets. We're going to place them on both sides.
I got it.
I want to show them the part number.
You've done enough today.
I want to show them the part number. So here is the part number, guys. The 156-016-2221. And then we're not gonna throw it on the floor like I usually do today because the floor is nice. We're gonna set it over there. Looking good, looking good. Getting her all cleaned up so we can put in our new squiggly gasket. And I call it a squiggly gasket since we've ever worked on these because she's a little squiggly. And then you'll take your good old dielectric grease and you'll just massage it in.
Yep, so now it's squiggly and slippery.
Oh. I love it. I love it.
All right, so now we just gotta pop these back on here. Make sure none of these little shims in here fall out in the process.
And guys, having the fan out makes a world of difference. Just a little bit of work frees up so much room for you to get in there and just easily do all this front end stuff. So guys, come with me, check this out. Look at that. We stained the entryway. I just love how it looks. I'm thinking Modern Masters Ranch, but leave a comment down below what you guys think I should put up here, either a logo or Modern Masters Ranch. And then we even painted this side right here. This is some shop supplies, some snacks and waters and cleaning stuff for my guys. Our giant awesome American flag, don't forget that. And then we got the C55. I have some awesome stuff coming up for the C55. It's gonna have its own video. We're gonna be finishing up the wiring harness, the TCU harness, and I'm gonna show you how we do all that with the 7-speed swap and this beautiful exhaust. My guys have the O2 bungs in there. We have the primary and the secondary looking really nice. The awesome Wisec pan in there. The creative steel trans mount is still just so awesome. I cannot wait for you guys to get the C55 video going. Rusty's gonna be doing that one by himself. I'll be doing a tow, but that's coming up. Stay tuned. All right, Rusty, where are you at?
Valve cover time.
Valve cover time. And hey, if you got 70,000 miles or more on an M156, pay attention to the next part because all of you guys need new valve cover gaskets.
All right, make sure we clean off the surface here, any kind of dust or debris. This is why you also want to make sure you always do an oil change anytime you have the valve covers off, because you never know how much dirt, debris, stink bugs can fall in there. So we always recommend we do an oil flush and then an oil change anytime we have a valve cover off of any engine, not just a AMG. All right, we got our old crusty valve cover gaskets here. If you have the metal valve covers like these, your tube seals will be green and your gasket will be black. But if you have the newer plastic valve covers, which they are interchangeable, so if you don't like the metal or vice versa, you can switch them either or, but make sure you have the right valve cover gaskets for your valve cover. The plastic valve cover gaskets will have red spark plug tube seals and a red gasket. So don't try to use the wrong gasket for your valve cover or it will leak.
All right, guys, and here is the part number of the green spark plug tube seal. All right, guys, we're gonna throw in some 540 liquid moly gin. This oil is awesome because it has a dye built into it. So it has a green color because it has a friction modifier built into it. So Molygen is awesome. You'll have to check that out on Liquid Moly. I'll put a link down below. But this stuff is great. And with all these new gaskets and seals, if we have a leak, like let's say we got a bad gasket from the dealer or something like that, this right here, the dye will come out. And then we'll know, oh, that's not old oil. That's a new oil that has a dye in it. The dye will only last for about 30 miles. So it's not going to last very long. The dye will, like with heat and time, will dissipate. But initially, it'll be the first thing that comes out, and you will see it if you have a leak. So check that out, Liquid Moly Molygen. Comes in quarts and then 5 quarts. Because I'm a pro, I'm gonna do this without making, look at the green, I love that. Wow. So if you have a suspect leak and you wanna know where it's coming from, get you some Molygen and don't look back. It's gonna help out with friction modification and spot the leak. And we'll just let that sit in there and drain out. Rusty has our fan, so he's gonna put that back in there. Hey, check this out, Rusty. This guy said, why don't you guys do a stud/nut setup on the mounts? And I don't mean Russell, the love muscle. I mean an actual fastener. That is good. That is good. But that's not a bad idea. To put a stud on top of the 63 mount and then put a nut down on it?
On the VRP long tubes, the stub would hit.
Oh, really?
There's no room. That's why I had to do double
gotcha.
pedestals.
Gotcha.
There's not enough room to put a socket on it.
All right, Mr. General Electric, you're to here. So you responded, we answered. All right, guys, we're putting it back together. It's a new day, and what better to use than Liquid Moly? This is their equivalent to CHF11, but it's way better. It's their hydraulic fluid. It's good for the European power steering fluids, for the M156, and so on and so forth. All the older ones, it's good for the hydraulic tops. It's basically good for everything. Do not try to eat it, though. It's not that good. But look at it. Look at it. It's so cool, and it's green and everything. Like CHF11 because that's awesome looking. Reminds me of Anthony and how Irish he is. But anywho, let's get the Liquid Moly in there and get the intake back on. And look, this is what I like about these jugs too. I know a lot of you guys have seen this, but it pulls up this little straw, locks it in place, and then you pop the cap off, and then she's ready to squirt. Bow! You just squirt it out like so, and just top her right off. And that will be enough of that. You don't make any mess, and then you can clip that bad boy back in there, push it down, and save it for another day. Liquid Moly, because if it was AMSOIL, it'd probably blow up. This thing is subtle. Mm-hmm. Do it again. Ooh, she's running a little rich. We're gonna have to adjust the tune on this bad boy, but she sounds good. That's probably what smoked the cats. We're gonna have to put a new tune on this thing. How you like it?
It's comfortable, it's smooth, and it sounds cool.
Awesome. How's the idle?
Perfect. And no vibration.
But there was vibration before?
Oh, you routed the hell out of
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yep.
Cool. Get this thing out here so we can get on to the next project.
Move that bus!
Bye, Legit Streetcars C63. All right, guys, that was awesome. That thing sounded cool. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this Legit Streetcars C63. I'm glad everything worked out. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up.
Share with your friends.
And as always, subscribe. And most importantly, leave a comment about my best friend, Rusty, in the comments. Oh man, look at that. You got, look here. What the heck? You got a big old scratch on the top of your head. What is that?
I think I was thinking too hard.
No, let me see it for real. Use the zoom of the camera. Does it hurt?
Oh, I know what it is.
What is it?
When we were painting, when I was sculpting my masterpiece over there on the floor,
Yeah.
I stood up and cracked my head on the air conditioner.
Oh, dude, you got it good.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a workman's comp claim if I ever seen one.
Heard that.
Heard. That's a good snack. 8 grams of whole grains, blueberry, good source of calcium and iron. But I tell you what, I will be honest with you, since we're on the subject of kids being bad, I want you guys to know my daughter, who is 17 months old, is worse than both of my boys combined in the house. She is a handful, man. If there was karma ever born for how bad I was as a kid, it's my daughter, man. It's literally like a rock. You just beat Rusty with it. I'm sorry, I just called that assault on camera. I apologize. Don't tell Rachel on me. Don't tell Rachel on me. Please don't.
I'm going home to my mom.
Whoa, watch right here. Clean that thing. I put a Band-Aid on that if I were you. Put a Band-Aid on it. Green, because Anthony's Irish. How'd they even know? Speaking of Irish, I was home sleeping. I'm tired.